Hello everyone, welcome back to the South Bay Syndicate for another round of live gameplay at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, where we play on Saturdays at 2 o'clock. We have a great matchup between two members of the Syndicate. We have Padme Tarkentown versus Cad Tarkentown. So one of the hot leaders from the new set versus one of the stables, I think, over the last few with Cad. It'll be very interesting to see how these play out as they get ready. We have a lot to look forward to here with a lot of the new cards coming out, seeing how we navigate Padme's ability to be able to ping on disclose or draw versus Cad's ability to ping on card play with some hand disruption. Should be a lot of fun. We got Jonathan on Padme and Doug on Cad Bane. Both seasoned players. Jonathan played a lot of Quinlan Tarkentown, and I think he's excited to see what this deck can do versus what that deck's been capable of. At the time of this game, the battle was going on. We did see a lot of Padme decks in that tournament, and they did pretty well. Although the Quinlan outshined them, I think making it all the way to the finals. So still showing the power of that deck, which I think bodes well for Padme's capability. Maybe slightly slower, but so early in testing, I think it's hard to tell how that will play out. As we get started here, I believe Cad has the initiative. Interesting for this matchup, because is it the Cad weenie deck where it's going to have a couple multiple one drops, or does it need 2-drop ping to get started? I know on the Padme side as well, it's looking for most likely not having the initiative so that it can do some disclose. If it has the yellow disclose card, but if it doesn't, it might want Bail or something else, the new warriors, so that it can play a unit first and attack and ping on the second turn. So it does look like a 1-drop coming from Cad. We do see the Guabian coming out, and on the other side we see one of the heroes of the new set. 3/2, he's hidden. When he dies, you can disclose and get a spy token, possibly the best card in the set. Although I think as we go on, people might start to think something like Captain Typho might be up there. So he discloses Rey. I know when talking to him before the match, Rey is an interesting card in Padme, but he kept drawing it in his opening hand. And so he was a bit frustrated with Rey from that perspective. Okay, so we see the Tarkentown used, and the Clone Trooper, though it comes in ready, he had already taken the initiative, so it didn't do much. But he's able to ping when he was able to disclose to play the spy token. I know I said Clone Trooper, but spy token, and kill off the Gunslinger. And so let's see what he does with the initiative here. Immediately goes 2 to base. Putting his opponent to 3 to base. Oh, because the Reckless Gunslinger. Yep. And it does look like he gets the new Anakin out. We'll definitely have to work on the camera placement in the future. A lot of glare on this matchup, so I'll do my best to see what cards they are. And he has a little clunky. He will bounce to put 3 on the Anakin, and Jonathan will take 1 on the spy token. The spy tokens are going to be nice to just eat up value. And we have a draw here. Padme with the initiative and the control at the moment. It'll be interesting to see what Jonathan decides to do with Tarkentown still active. A ping here kills either unit, so he has to kind of decide whether to attack, which he does do, and then sacrifice, I'm guessing, the spy token on the Cad play. There's also an opportunity if Cad has Forlom. He can Forlom into the spy token and then ping, wiping the board. And that could be some of the power of Cad. So let's see if he has that play. Based on his hesitation, I'm going to say he does not. And he goes 2 to base with the Antagonizer. Interesting choice to go there first. Okay, so he had the ability to clear both. He could have, in theory, before attacking with the Antagonizer, cleared both and save 2 damage, but not necessary either. I think he was hoping that Jonathan would play another unit so that he'd get value out of it plus the Cad ping, and that was worth the 2 damage to him, which makes a lot of sense. So we see the R2, another great card in Padme because it does trigger because you're discarding and drawing. And this will set up the Tarkin Town for the Padme player. Another disclose down. Really good to get that down now because it does set up, as long as it lives, it sets up pings every turn, which is very valuable in the Padme deck. Excited to see how this matchup plays out. I think on the Cad side, ideally they would have liked the Forlom, something like Bosk here, things where they can start to ambush and ping and trade while clearing the board and keeping their board going wider and wider. Oh, and we do see the Forlom coming out now and deciding to take out the Clan Rescuer. So I think what he was thinking about there is if I take out R2, I can then ping the Clan Rescuer and then the Guavian can trade if I want, but I think turning off the Clan Rescuer's ping, which would have immediately killed Forlom, is a much better play. So I like what he did there. Jonathan's checking his resources, paying 5, and he's going to Plo Koon. Very nice, letting him draw a card. On the draw, does he get to activate Padme? I don't quite remember if it's draw or if it's discard. It must be discard. That would have been interesting if it was draw, because he would have been able to take out the Forlom. He does claim, I think he's going to take out another Guavian here, really try and get his resource trading, or his unit trading in the right place. So let's see if he goes into the Guavian to draw another card, continuing to be a threat to Forlom. Okay, he decides here to trade R2 for Forlom. And he's thinking about this with the deploy. This is going to be such a big turn for both of them. A lot of different options, especially with plot now in the game, which I think has been a great addition. They really have to think about how they're going to plot out here and take the most advantage of their resourcing. Oh, perfect. So comes out with the Padme, with the sudden ferocity, and now it's a 6/8 unit. One of the most powerful things you can do, I think, with Padme here. Just a monster of a card. Now, if he has the hot shot here, he will be able to finish off Cad, and Cad has the same answer back. So you can see what a great card Sudden Ferocity can be for these 6 drops, because it still leaves you enough to do something else, and you've already made your leader very powerful. So let's see here. He trades out, getting more value out of that Plo Koon, drawing another card. It is Discarder's Disclose for Padme for the ability. And okay, so Cad does have the hot shot, allowing him to swing in for 5, 7, 9, putting Jonathan in lethal. So just with that one unit on this turn, plotting out Sudden Ferocity and then Hot Shot Blastering, pumps Cad's 2/8 up to a giant. And Jonathan has the same answer back and chooses to take out the Cad unit. And Padme does live there because Cad's part of his hit power is on raid, so he does not do that damage back right away. So Padme will live. And now kind of the tables have turned here where 2 Padme swings do end the game. He also has Plo Koon with the possibility to activate Coordinate, so he could be swinging for 14 with those 2 units. But I imagine he's really thinking about how one swing with Padme puts him in check. definitely hoping he has another IG because that would help him finish off both units. But I can't quite see it, but I believe it's the one cost that does Lady Proxima. That does 1 damage each time you play an Underworld card. Okay, so we play the Kira here. It looks like a lot of small drops. I see a Dengar, I see a Greedo, and the third Guavian Antagonizer. He can play any of these with Kira, but I think he's going to be very happy to see this. Probably wishing he had just swung with Padme because it would have forced different actions from his opponent. But now his opponent will be able to play something on the board. He's kind of counting it out. That's going to be 8 and another 6 of 14, as we talked about before, getting him to 24. And even with all of these units, I'm not sure he's going to have an answer unless he can play a number of Underworld cards here. So there's the 8 swing. So you have to claim on the CAD side and just take your next 6. If there's a hot shot underneath and there's not, or surprise strike, it would have been over there. And for 2 more resources, I think. Okay, so he's going to draw. He's going to attempt to, I think, get another cunning card. There's the Han Solo. That's an easy one, I think. And if he can disclose here, he's going to put 2 spy tokens out, both also representing lethal. And it looks like he does have enough to disclose. Yep, so he'll disclose. And I think that's going to be it. I don't know that Cad can come back here. It would be interesting to go back and see what would have happened if Cad traded into Padme instead and lived. Would have prevented a lot of damage on his base. Would have forced maybe his opponent to swing with Plo Koon and trade that out. And then it's a much different board at that point. Although I think the Cad player ended up drawing a lot of small cards at the end when he needed to get bigger. And that ended up being the difference in match 1 there. So a lot of interesting sequencing. They both had their leader flip on 6 with Sudden Ferocity into Hot Shot Blaster. Cad went first and went to base. And then Amidala, because Cad would have put her in check, went into Cad to clear the board and really set themselves up, I think, to continue to keep the board clear, as Cad only had small units to answer. And we see them sideboarding here, thinking about things like Fang Fighter after all the attachments, some space units with ambush, the Depa Paloba for another ambush card. And it looks like they want to get their ambush out earlier to help them clear the board. So bigger costs like the Han are things he's thinking about taking out, because will the game actually get that far? I think that's what he's asking himself right now as he thinks about this resourcing. And on the other side, he's probably thinking about all the small units and what can he do to make sure he has answers as the game goes on. I think I saw Lurking Ties there. They can absorb the ping, which is nice. It's not his choice, but if it's the only units he has on board, then Padme's ability goes away. So I think that's what he's thinking about with that. I think maybe the No Good to Me Dead. And Padme will start with the initiative. Interesting choice here. I think probably hoping for the Faith in Your Friends to get the 2 spy tokens out. Because I think he doesn't want to lose the Bale or the Warrior clan to the Ping Tarkin Town. But in any Tarkin Town match, I think you just have to assume your first unit most likely is going to be lost. And you're going to be a little bit behind curve to start. But Padme has a similar ability, so catching back up on curve is not going to be as difficult as it could be in other matches. And sometimes you're okay. I think with them getting rid of your first unit rather than holding it for something bigger that you might want later. So it's just a matter of how you think about your matchup and how you want to approach Tarkentown. There are definitely oppressive moments for it where it can really get in front of you, depending on your deck. And we've got the shuffle here. Jonathan is doing commentary on a matchup between myself and Tommy, and we went for a long time shuffling as we sideboarded, and I think he had some fun comments for it. I think this is just an efficient shuffle here from Doug. As you put in the sideboard, you want to make sure it gets spread out, and he does a good job of that, and they're ready to go. And so let's see what we draw here in game 2. A good showing in game 1 from Padme. Let's see if they can control the mid game into a close. And there you see Jonathan showing us his hand because he's going to mulligan. And there's the 2 rays. I don't know what it was about this day, but it was ray all day for him in opening hands and no ray on draw. And that's just kind of how it can go sometimes. When you hit it, it feels really good. When you draw it without the extra piece, you're like, what do I do with this 5/5 for 5? Is it worth playing? I think it can be a tough choice. And Cad looks good to go. I think I saw Boba Fett in hand, a Greedo, and some other cards. Very, very efficient shuffling from Jonathan after his mulligan, and we'll see what happens here. He's got the R2, which activates the ping, so because he has initiative, I don't think he wants it to start. I think he'll like this clan warrior into the Marin, which can be insane in this deck. And right here, I think what you're doing is you're deciding what to sacrifice. Okay, so he does... he must have passed with the initiative. That's the only thing I can think of there. And he gets the R2 trigger, sends the clan warrior down, pings out the Greedo, which flips another Greedo to not get the activation. And then I think that worked out pretty well. Cad does not have a second 1-drop, although now they've drawn their 3rd Greedo. And so for Jonathan's side, you have to think R2 is a great Tarkentown target. You're happy with them using it on R2. You got the value out of him. You defeated a unit. It doesn't add additional disclose opportunities like the clan warrior would have, or other cards like a Bale. And so I think as a Tarkentown target, you have to be pretty happy if you're Jonathan. And let's see, the Cad player taps 3 resources, I hear. I think they're thinking about their 1-drop opportunities. Oh, they haven't. Okay, they're resourcing, and they resource the Gunslinger into their Boba. And I think the Gunslingers makes a lot of sense as the resource there. And we do see the R2 attack for 2 before getting Tarkentown. And there's the Marin. The thing about Marin here is it can attack into Boba, discard a card, and use Padme's ability to do 5 total damage. So very, very powerful. And it'll be interesting to see what Doug does here with Cad to respond, because I do think the Marin can get rid of this Boba Fett and live. If he has Forlom, that would be a great answer, because he would be able to take out Marin and ping. I think similar to last game, if he had Forlom on turn 4, it would have been a very different game. And this time he does have that answer with Forlom and the ping, and that is a great moment for him, because that Marin was about to do some work. And that puts Jonathan, I think, on his back heels a little bit. Staring down a Forlom with a Boba on 4 resources. What does this Padme deck have? Maybe a Kira. I guess you're looking for a Zuckuss if you play Kira. You could go Falcon just to get some damage in. It looks like we're paying 2. So maybe we're going to try and go wild. Oh, we bamboozle. Okay. Prevent some damage. And then we go with our clan warrior and the Tarkin town to clear Forlom. Okay. So I think they made the best of what they had. And you can see he drew the ray and then looked at the ray in disgust and then immediately resourced. It's just, what is he supposed to do there? Oh, now he's thinking, wait a minute, maybe I need to play the ray. Do I need a body out there? Oh, and looks like he kept it in hand now. Interested to see what happens here. It looks like a Bosk on this side and another ambusher to clear. I think Doug is doing a great job keeping the board as clear as possible. We see an Ebon Hawk, we see a Ray. I do get the idea of playing Ray here. It is still a 5/5, can take out either of these units, and right now he needs to kind of stabilize the board somewhat. Instead he goes with Cassian. And Boba will go 3 to base. And now Cassian is deciding here whether to take out Boba, or I'm sorry, take out Bosk or not, and decides not to. Putting him at risk for another ambusher or some kind of combination of events with Boba Ping. Who knows what could happen here? McClunky and keep saying Boba. McClunky and Bosk Ping would also take him out. But I do believe he drew another Forlom, which is probably going to be heartbreaking for Jonathan, as the second Forlom of the game. And those are the kind of cards he did not see in the first game, right? If you think about how his board was developing, it was a lot of 1-drops, a lot of small units. And now here he has a healthy Boba unit with a couple of decent other units in Bosk and Forlom with that each hit for 4. And it's a lot to ask Padme to get through. And so we do deploy with Sudden Ferocity. And we do have a big Padme unit out there now, which gets no good me dead. And that 2 damage from Bosk comes in. So he will send the Boba back to hand, and you might be thinking, why that over one of the bigger units? And the reason is, on the next turn, you could just finish off Padme because it'd be tapped. And now the Cad is in control, pouring on damage with another 12 represented right now. So it could end this turn. The Padme will not be readying, and I think the Padme player is looking for answers here as the Boba is set to just pour damage in. If they had a hot shot, the combination of all of these units plus hot shot plus the gunslinger would end the game. So here comes Kira. I see 2 Bobas, a Guavian. I think Boba got named, but I'm not sure. You also have to think about the events because it sets up a couple of things. So we see the hot shot blaster here. So that's 6 to base there. And now with the rest of the damage on board. Oh, he has a second hot shot blaster. Okay. Now he's just showing off. Now maybe I did the math wrong before. It would have been 10, 14. And it's a good game, and we're going to go to a game 3. So a very different game 2. The Cad player picked up their 4 and 5 cost ambushers. Were able to use them to clear the board and keep theirs out, whereas last game you saw Plo Koon coming out and kind of clearing the board of the smaller Cad units without any answers. And so it's been a game of ambushers taking control. And Cad players looking back through his list, thinking about what else he might like to see there. Something sticking out to him as didn't really need it in the deck. Be interesting to see what it is. And I think he decides to go. Yeah. All right. So he thinks again and then decides not to. Using that great sideboard holder, 3D printed by one of the members of the South Bay Syndicate, who creates all of our 3D gear, including the base life counter you see here on the Cad Bane side. Jonathan yet to adopt it. He's had this Rebellion life counter since set 1, and there's no way getting him away from it, and his Death Star plan token. But not using his Death Star plan mat from Galactic with his token, deciding to use the new Senate mat. Also beautiful. Those Death Star ones were nice though. All right, and here we go to game 3. Jonathan is not going to be mulliganing. He likes his draw here. Cad has the initiative, surprisingly. Although maybe he got burned last time by the R2. So let's see if there's a pass again. Well, there's no need to be a pass because it's on Cad's side. And he's looking at the sand. A hot shot goes down. But now he's thinking, do I have a turn 1 play? Am I ready to have it get Target Towned? Where are my ambushers and all this? Looks like the Darth Nihilus. Nope. The Boba? He's deciding which 3-drop to put down. Looks like the 1/5 raid 3 goes down. Interested to see if someone will build a more robust raid Cad Bane deck, taking advantage of the plot of Hondo. And here we go again. He drew 2 R2s in his opening hand, making it easy to decide which one he would discard. And this will set up the ping, which will clear the gunslinger and save his Target Town. And I see a criminal muscle, so we will have the second ping. And again, I think you expect to lose that unit with Target Town, and you're happy to do so based on your units. And you see him draw the Ray again, meaning he was 1 card off drawing the Ray with R2, which is the closest we've seen him get so far. So with the initiative here, he plays a Cassian just to create some board presence. I'm sure he would have liked to see the Anakin or the Marin as a much better play there, but he gets the Cassian, and there's the ping from the Boba. And that's a tough card because after he attacks the Cassian, he's basically dead to Boba's ability. So he has to kind of decide how he wants to do it. If he attacks first, then the Cad player can play a unit to ping, and then the Boba ability kills him without taking damage back. The other option is he could go in a criminal muscle to at least create a trade, or he can play another unit on board, making it not as easy to trade into. And I think he's thinking through these options as Boba creates some complexity in the math of how this board plays out. He's also probably thinking some flashbacks to last game where he got 4-lom twice, and what happens if he plays something and the 4-lom comes down? Does it put him behind again? Whoops, he accidentally shows a Cassian when he means to show a hotshot blaster. I don't hate this. He goes to base with it because now actually I wonder if it would have made more sense to go into Boba, because it still sets up the opportunity for Cad to ping and then wipe it out without taking damage back. None of that matters now because what just happened there? Oh, I see. So, sorry. He bamboozled to send the hotshot blaster back to hand, which is scary. But what it did to do is allow him to Padme ping and get rid of the criminal muscle. And then you see the Greedo get played and the ping onto Cassian. So now Cassian is in range of Boba's ability. There could have been a different sequence there last turn, which would have prevented another 5 damage from Cad, but he did get that 5 damage in with the Hotshot Blaster. I gotta fix the shake on this camera too. Definitely some settings I need to fix in the lighting and the shake. Hopefully it's okay for you out there. Oh, you see the Faith in Your Friends come down. He will draw a card, which will give him the ping to take out the Greedo. After Greedo had attacked his base for 3. So they're sitting at 11-11. They each have a unit on board, post ping, and see if there are also spy tokens. If he discloses. It looks like he did disclose. And those are some cards that he definitely wants. Looks like another Faith in Your Friends. We could see that come out. We did not see the... Oh, we did see the ping. Okay. We saw the ping and then the flip missed. We still have our Tarkin Town on Cad's side. We'll see if that comes in. Oh, I'm sorry. On Padme's side. We'll see if that comes in handy. Boba can wipe out Cassian here. Now that it's tapped, Boba can tap into it and do 3 damage first. See also a Bosk in hand. And we know he has the Hotshot Blaster in a row because I'm assuming he put it back down there after it got bamboozled last turn. And he's seen Jonathan's entire hand, so I'm sure he's factoring in what's coming next. Could it be the Anakin? Could it be another Faith in Your Friends? What's it going to look like? And then doing some work on how he wants to get damage in. In theory, he could hotshot, get 5 in, but he decides to go 3 to base. And we do see the Anakin come out. And there's a Zuckuss. So if you think about the math they were doing, the Zuckuss comes out. He has the Hotshot Blaster. That's 8 damage. So if he gets to attack in with Boba first, the Zuckuss Hotshot will finish it. So I think Jonathan probably knows that he has that and will need to run one of these two, either Anakin or Cassian, into Boba. But he also does have the 4-LOM. That's right, we did see that get exposed earlier, so that's an even better answer. And now he's thinking about the math again. He's got the No Good to Me Dead. He's got the Ruthless Raider. So he's representing some damage here. 3 with Boba to get to 17. He can hot shot with Cad to get to 22. Okay, so he decides to go hot shot with Boba to put the pressure on. Jonathan's out of resources. So they're kind of in a race now, I think, because there's 5, 10, 12, 14. So he has lethal on board here. So it's a matter of if that like another bamboozle would be great to tap down. I think if he has that, he wins. But he's basically like, if you have surprise strike or hot shot, you win. If not, I win. So let's see how this plays out. Overall, great matchup between these two. I think two decks that do very well. It'll be interesting to see how Padme develops over time. And there is the Hotshot Blaster, and he hits in, and that's a good game. So he did have the answer. He also had the Sudden Ferocity under there, so he could have played that out. Maybe he was just waiting out the bamboozle. Just definitely had a couple of options, and went to base instead of trading out the Cassian, which ended up being the right move. It was lethal here either way, right? So very close game, well played by both players. I think Cad, with its pings and its ambush, was able to get ahead of what's happening with Padme right now. I just got to figure out how to get a little faster, a little bit more control, I think, to stay in these matches, and I think they're discussing some of those options. Well played by both players. Really appreciate them letting us film. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying our various videos. Please like and subscribe, and we'll continue to produce content both on Carabast and live, really highlighting what we're seeing being played out there, what we're testing out, and then what we're bringing to our locals and what we're running into. A lot of great players on the syndicate, and really fun to see the different things that they're brewing up. Really hope everyone has enjoyed our video. We've enjoyed commentating, and we're going to have a couple more coming up. There's one more match from this week, and then we're going to keep trying to record each week as we head into our PQ. The first weekend of December, a group of us will be heading out to the Redlands PQ, and we'll be looking to make some noise there. Thanks, everyone.